Dear friends, today I want to share with you some new thoughts about what's going on in Ukraine. And I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about some spiritual risks about what this could mean in terms of the apocalypse and the fight between devil and Christ and his church in this world. And I don't want to talk too much about this matter, especially when the Great Land will be begun. But now we're still just approaching the Great Land, and we need to approach the land with peace in our heart. And this is the greatest risk, that we don't have peace between Russia, Ukraine, and so many people now, families divided, and you know all of that. Without peace, we cannot pray. Okay, and this is another topic I want to talk next time. Okay, so before we enter into the Great Land, I want to share with you some thoughts about what might be going on. Okay, and I want to get away from political perspective. Okay, so if you are strongly supporting one side, be it Ukraine or Russia, if you think that Putin is the worst guy in the world, or you think that Putin is a great leader and powerful, and okay, you have some hope in him. Okay, I think what I will say will not be useful to you. Okay, we need to get away from these emotions, from all these performance that we see from media, and it's real, right? But it's also a game. Okay, it's a game, it's some kind of arrangement, and we need to look behind all these things. Okay? And behind all these things, there is this spiritual power of Antichrist that is trying to invade this world and to subdue it to its total control and deception. And the Church of Christ is standing in the way. Okay? It's bringing the testimony of Christ, and it will be the obstacle for this Antichrist. And at the end of this world, the plan of Antichrist will succeed, we know, but it will be overthrown by Christ. And in this there will be the greatest goal and the good accomplished by the end of this world. So it will be the triumph of Lord's righteousness and His mercy, His truth. So this is the big picture, overall picture. So now let us think what might be the agenda of the Antichrist in this world war that's going on. And I can tell you these methods that are used, like it's very audacious. It's very, okay, not many people would think that this could happen. And we think what other things like that, like 9/11, big thing, okay, to do. I believe it's also Antichrist behind it. And some other things. Okay, maybe it's good guys who are also so brave and they are able to do things like that. Maybe. I'm not saying that Putin is Antichrist, okay? But today I want to just to make a hypothesis, okay? Make a hypothesis that what's going on now is success of Antichrist. Just I hope I am wrong. I hope that what I say today is false, and we will see after about 1 month, I think, of this war, how it develops, if what I say today is true or false. It's incorrect, and I'm very hopeful that I'm incorrect. So why I say it is just an attempt to think for Antichrist. Okay, and Apostle Paul, he said, we know plans of Satan. Okay, I'm not as spiritual. I'm not spiritual at all as Apostle Paul, but I also want to attempt to think for Antichrist. Okay, because in every one of us we have the old self, and this old self, it's anti-Christian. Okay, so we can look into ourselves to think for Antichrist. And of course, we need to kill our old self, but still we can use him to understand better what the devil is trying to do and how he wants to deceive us. Okay, so today it's just a guess, and I'm not saying that this is how things are, but this is just something for everyone to think about, okay, and see from what's going on if it's true or not. Okay, first of all, Antichrist and the devil, he has a lot of experience in having different nations collide with each other, have hatred. We know this India, Pakistan. We know the Europe was for many hundreds of years all in war. Okay, people were hating each other. In recent history, we have the Serbs and Horvats. We have quite many. We have in East Timor, we have that conflict. We have so many in Africa. It's all war all the time. Okay, because one nation, small nation, hates another small nation. They have some border conflict. They are fighting. We have this Azerbaijan with Armenia. We have so many. This is all done by the spirit of Antichrist. Okay, who is thirsty for blood, who wants people to die, to suffer, and not have peace, because peace is the prerequisite for prayer. Without peace there is no prayer, and without prayer God does not listen to us and does not get involved in our life directly, because we don't have his mercy. Okay, so the devil is trying to have war. If you see some people quarreling, you can feel the spirit of Antichrist. They will be throwing things, they will be screaming. This is the spirit of Antichrist. Okay, so now we have this war, big time, okay, in Ukraine. So Antichrist, he is attempting to make some people who believe they are Ukrainians to hate people who are Russians and everything related to Russia, and people who believe that they are Russians and they associate themselves with Russia to hate Ukrainian, or at least to look at it, well, it's not real, it's fake, it's just some people whom we need to, okay, convert and also become part of Russia, or okay, there are different ways of looking at it, okay, but hatred, okay, especially now Ukrainians against Russians. This hatred is strong, okay, it's facilitated, okay. So of course we need to detach ourselves. In case some of you belong to Russian or Ukrainian, you have some attachment to these nations, detach yourself. Try to think that we are all children of God, okay? the church is above all nations, okay? And these wars will begin, they will end, but the church will keep going. And no matter who wins, so Russia who wins, Ukraine who wins, United States who wins, or Antichrist who wins, okay, becomes the president of the whole world. We don't care so much, okay, because we will face whatever there will be, okay, no matter what kind of arrangement the Lord allows to be, if it's very bad, but we still are gonna face it, okay, and we still have to be united with Christ and continue our testimony, our Christian witness and mission, okay, to the extent that we can be able to do it, okay. So we first detach ourselves from these emotions, okay, to think clearly, to think, okay, what actually is going on. Okay, so now let us assume that behind all this thing, and I'm not saying Putin or, okay, we don't know the whole power arrangement behind the scenes, nobody tells us, okay, but let's say behind all this there is Antichrist. So it's not the good guys who have this agenda, but it's just guys who are influenced by Antichrist, and it's Antichrist agenda going on. Let's just assume this. I'm not saying this is true. I don't want to be pessimistic, but just let us assume that this is how it is. So if this is the case, they would want to reach 3 goals at least. Antichrist, through this war. Okay, first, to make the final split between Ukrainians and Russians, Ukraine and Russia, okay, just to have this final split of hatred that Ukrainians, we are not Russians, Russians, we are not Ukrainians, okay, and we are not just different, but we are enemies. To put this final break, okay, it's been propaganda was working for 30 years, even longer, that it's different people, that they, okay, Russia is aggressive against Ukraine and all those things. They were, but it's not enough. Now with this war, with these people dying, lives destroyed, it's the final break, okay. Is it true? Is this the case? We will see. We will see based on the outcome of this war, okay? Or at least the development, how it develops further, okay? But this is a possibility, okay? Another possibility, another goal that might be behind it, okay, is a negative scenario. We're thinking we need to be ready for the worst, okay? Is to clear all this land, this Ukraine, okay, from the people and the society that is there right now, and to establish a new society right there, okay? Let's just assume that some people, children of Antichrist, okay, let's say, they like this place, okay, and then they want to establish some new form of life, new form of relationship, okay, new society in this place. In order to do this, they need to clear what there is. It's not cleared for Russians to come. It's not cleared for someone else, but for them, okay, and for their society, their way of thinking, their way of life, okay. And to do this, okay, this past 30 years, Ukraine's population became half, okay, for different reasons, but now it's just, okay, the final, okay, accord, okay. Now we just kick everybody else out and we just build it new from scratch, okay. Is this so? I hope not, okay? But there is such a possibility, okay? The third objective, which might be behind this war, is to completely block Russia from the rest of the world and make everybody hate Russia for decades to come. Why? Because Russia is the last pillar of Orthodox testimony to this world. Okay, I'm not saying it's the only, but it's the last big, huge country and society which has very strong Orthodox testimony to the world. Okay, even though the church is minority, even though Christians are not everybody, okay, Orthodox Christians, but still it's a very, very important pillar of Orthodox faith and traditional values also, okay, against all these sodomite things. And all our missions are have support from Russia. The missionaries come from Russia, the funds come from Russia, the literature, the books, and many other things. I just went to do a mission to Sri Lanka, to Dominica, and a lot of funding comes from Russia for these missions. Okay, without it, okay, if I would need to go now, it would be much more difficult. No flights, the ruble fell, okay, and maybe some countries don't allow Russians to go there, okay, and if it's gonna get worse and worse, it's just gonna be completely blocked, okay, and no witness, okay, the mission of the church is halted. And this is what Antichrist wants. This is what we had during Soviet times, okay. So is this the case? Is this another goal of Antichrist? And it's all arranged that somebody has sanctions, Putin, this and that, but behind this is the goal, okay. If it's true, then okay, Antichrist is close to succeeding, okay. So I'm not saying there cannot be any good outcomes from what's happening. There could be, okay, and we will see by the way the war develops. And I really hope that these war's predictions are not true, okay. And I just don't want to talk today about the good things, but don't think that I'm so pessimistic. There might be some very good outcomes from what's going on, okay? But today I want to think about bad ones, okay? And I pray to God that I am wrong, that this is not the case, this is not the situation. But we need to be ready. Okay, we need to be ready for the worst and hope for the best, for the good. Okay, so please pray for everyone who suffers now in Ukraine, for people who are dead, who are killed and being killed every day, hundreds and thousands. Please pray for them. Okay, and let us be wise. Let us preserve peace in our heart, in our families. As much as we can, not to facilitate hatred of anyone against anyone, okay, no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening out there, okay. Let's don't be dragged by emotions or some media propaganda and all these things. We need to pray more and watch this TV and this all this stuff in the YouTube and so on, Facebook less, okay. Not to have, okay, there's too much noise which will prevent us from thinking clearly and spiritually, okay. And let us enter well into the great land. May the Lord bless every one of you. Amen.